this is not a video I think I have to make, but I kind of do. And it's something that needs to be discussed at length and from a neutral standpoint. And just before we actually get into this, it's about the recent announcements of Smite Minor League and Smite Global Series turning into best-of-1 formats. And I'm going to try and take a neutral stance on this. The issue is that I am not a neutral on this. People that are affected by this decision, the competitors, the players, they are my friends. And I kind of do feel sorry for them in this situation because of what's happened. So I'm going to have a biased view, but I'm going to try and put that aside and remain neutral for the purposes of this video. So, as I said, it's about the fact that Smite Minor League and Smite Global Series have become best-of-1s. If you missed the announcements, here they are. Full split changes and details published 6 days ago, so that'll be on August 2nd. Big point of feedback for the SML is for all games to be broadcast. However, take a look at the quality of the games and competition level across all 6 teams. We felt the league's format was also not the best it could be. As such, we're making 2 major changes to the SML for this split. We will broadcast 4 out of 5 matches each week per region, and we'll follow a schedule and make sure each team gets equal broadcast time and all teams will get broadcast time each week. That is a positive change. One of the big downsides from spring split to from spring split to summer split, sorry, was the fact that less games got streamed as a whole from the Smite Minor League. And what most minor league players will want out of everything is exposure. They want their play to be put out there, they want their games to be put out there, so therefore they can get scouted by pro league teams, they can get shown off on Twitter, and get a following, and just grow as a player, and grow as a personality in esports. And when the changes from spring to summer happened, that opportunity got very limited, because each region only had 2 of their sets broadcast per week. The rest were played at the same time, but were played off-stream for the purposes of the stream, and were just announced on the first day of the Smite Minor League broadcasts. So that's a positive change here. This is a positive change, and I do agree with that. What I don't agree with is each match will be changed to a best-of-1 set. And this is their reasoning for it. We decided to move away from best-of-3 matches because we found that the large majority of them were not only 2-0 sweeps, but were often finished in under 25 minutes. This level of competition in a best-of-3 format is draining to the audience and the players, and is showing no true improvement for competition or quality in the league. Best-of-1 matches should make competition tighter, while also providing equal broadcast time across the board for all teams. There was equal broadcast time in the spring split, so this statement here, I do not agree with. Decided to move away from the best-of-3 matches because we found that a large majority of them were not only 2-0 sweeps, but were often finished in under 25 minutes. That statement is true. A lot of the games, a lot of the sets were 2-0 sweeps, but a lot of them were only at face value 2-0 sweeps. Having a look at past videos of the ones that weren't on stream, a lot of them were good. A lot of them were good matches, entertaining matches to watch from a coaching standpoint. Whether they are from a viewing standpoint, that remains to be seen. And we probably won't ever find out because those matches will not be broadcast. Best-of-1 matches from a purely viewing standpoint are better, because there's this sense of anybody can win on the day in a best-of-1 format. Because one mistake, one strategy that goes well or doesn't go well, changes the outcome of a match. It will keep players on their toes, it will make sure that they are performing as well as they can week in, week out. But to say that a best-of-3 means that they're not going to be performing week in, week out is absurd. Each one of those players and each one of the teams in the minor league right now is playing for their careers. They want to get known, they want to get shown, they want to go to these lands. They want to go to fucking worlds. Because that's the goal here. When they play in the minor league, they're not saying that this is the best they're going to get and they're going to coast for now. Because there's no chance of winning. They want to stay in that minor league and then go into the pro league. They are the future of Smite. And being placed into a format which is not conductive towards growth isn't that great. Best of ones don't promote growth, in my opinion, when it's done like this. If we want to have a look at a situation where it's done right, you have to look at League of Legends. Unfortunately, I don't have details of it up here. I could probably just have a look for that real quick. Quickly just drag this over. But League of Legends do it in a different way. In case you're wondering, this has also happened to the global series, as I said before. I think it's also due to the same reason, sorry. I'm going to go into this in a bit more detail in a bit, but in my opinion, best of ones aren't the way forward. If it's really struggling to get a sense of competition from game to game, it's really struggling to get all the broadcasts in, there are other solutions, and I'm going to go into that later on in the video, towards the end. Once I quickly have a look for the tweet which I need to find. I didn't think I would have to look up this tweet, but I am going to look it up, and I'm going to bring it up, because this is the way it should be done. Okay, here we go. So, I am not familiar with the League of Legends Challenger Series. But obviously, City of Sin and Lavosky, two friends of mine, are. And they managed to get me some information on it, some glaring information, and I thank them for it. You should definitely go check out this link here as well if you want to learn a bit more. But from face value, we're just going to be using City of Sin's tweet. So, the LCS system over there, but NA and EU have conflicting fan bases. There's 10 teams in both, 5 matches per day. So, their schedule is very congested over there. We're going to open this up as well. Because this is one of the solutions that they could have done. One of the solutions that I would do. And these are some of the reasons that they gave for making it a best of one series. And if I remember correctly, one of the big points they had from the League of Legends Challenger Series is that whilst it is best of ones throughout the regular season, there's still a LAN to go to then qualify for the main LAN. So even if you place well during the online stages, you still have to go to LAN and perform in non-best of ones. So whilst you may not be great at best of ones, the main format that Worlds is going to take, the main format that the main events are going to be taking, you still have to play and prove yourself and improve on that. And every team, near enough, will get an opportunity to do that. Whilst in Smite, it's only going to be the top team from each region in the minor league. So you're discrediting 5 teams' abilities to play in best of 3 scenarios, or even best of 5s or best of 2s, to get easier access to broadcasting times, to get more sets broadcast, and to try and hype up the league a bit. Whilst I do agree that in spring it was difficult to digest, it was difficult to keep track of, because 7 days a week for 6 weeks there was Smite on those days. That's 42 days of Smite in a row, where you had mixed days of Smite Global Series followed by SPL, and then on the weekends you had SML on Saturdays for Europe and SML on Sundays for North America. There was too much Smite to go on. There's too much Smite to just take it all in from one broadcaster. And this is going to bring me on to a point which I'm going to take on in the end of the video, so we're going to move away from that. So, I believe that Riot have shown... Oh, right, I think it is right. I believe they've shown that there are benefits to it, and there are ways to do best of one series. But the way Smite have gone about it, and the way Hi-Rez have gone about it, is not the way that should have been done. And here's why. We're going to go back to screen capture now. So, back in May of this year, Burrito, one of the larger orgs and one of the homegrown orgs of Smite, was in the minor league, and they decided to leave. Team was changing consistently because of players' disinterest in the league, players' dissatisfaction with what they perceived as a lack of communication between themselves and the league operators, and Burrito decided they had enough because they were also feeling that same grievance. And later that day, or tomorrow, or the day after, Hi-Rez Cooper decided to do a tweet longer on the amateur scene. You can see here, he's already announced that Season 6 has been started to be planned for a long time. They're really paying attention to the future of Smite, which is a fantastic thing, and I commend them for that massively. Because they are looking ahead, they're looking at the growth, they're looking at the sustainability of the game. Exciting as that is, and may give players currently competing something to look forward to, I understand that 2019 is not now. We're in 2018, and there are some inherent issues that players and fans have expressed. Spring Split was a great split for the amateur scene. It was a step in the right direction towards making it more in line with the Pro League. To be clear, the overall goal of the SML is not to make it a copy of the Pro League, but with slightly less prizing. You need to have incentive to grow as a player team and make it into the Pro League, while also encouraging new players to compete in the SML once they have achieved that level. If you're playing in the SML and you're fine staying there for the rest of your career, you are not ambitious enough for the SML. Plain and simple. And you should not be there. And players on teams who want to strive to improve who are playing with players who don't want to improve, those players that don't want to improve are going to get kicked very quickly. So, I sort of don't see the need for this, but I can let that slide for now. But the closer the two can become while still maintaining that uniqueness to each league is the sweet spot. We obviously made changes to the overall structure format that pulled the two even further apart. At this point, they moved away from best of twos and went to best of threes, but then changed the broadcast schedule, so you only had one broadcast, two sets each week broadcast per region, rather than all of them. Best of three change was good, but again, the broadcasting side was a downside. So then they overcorrected in this split, and this is why I'm making this video. And this next steps part is really what I want to focus on. So instead of being an ongoing experimental league, I'm going to spend my time over the next few weeks, somewhere split, to discuss the minor league internally and how we can improve on the improvements we've already made, while also improving on the weaker areas that were changed. Very good. I like that he shows concern, I like that there is thought being going into this. Yes, there are some glaring issues that we can point to ourselves and say, fix that. On top of that, I'll be holding meetings with all of the current Smite minor league players to collect their feedback, not only this season, but moving forward. We'll do the same for Kanban players and send some surveys out to the public for those who enjoy watching our soon-to-be stars in the Pro League. I'll be reaching out to the partner organizations from both the Smite Pro League and Smite Minor League to collect feedback on what they want to see for a healthy scene below pro competition. Any organizations that were recently involved as well, such as Burrito, will be contacted. I encourage anyone who has any feedback on the topic to email me at scooper@hirezstudios.com or tweet me at hirezcooper. As always, the players from other leagues and competitive Hi-Rez titles can send me feedback on their competitions. It doesn't always get done right away, but we do listen and are deep in planning for those as well. I'm going to call complete bullshit on this part. I'll be holding meetings with all of the current Smite minor league players to collect their feedback for not only this season, but moving forward. I'm not a minor league player. I'm a professional Smite coach. So how can I know that this part is complete bullshit? Well, this tweet right here. For those who don't know, Death Panther is the mid laner for Insignum, current champions of the minor league. They went to LAN in spring and lost. They went to LAN in summer and won. And just the tweets on screen, you can read it. The very saddest thing is that Hi-Rez promised they would be holding meetings with all the SML players to collect our feedback about the league, and they haven't. Not a single thing. We just wanted to help you know. That tells me that not a single meeting has been held, and that Cooper basically outright lied. It could be that he tweeted out and wanted to start looking at doing some meetings, but then forgot or got busy, or just didn't have the time for it. And I'd like to believe that that is it. But I can't say for certainty. I can't say for certainty that he blatantly lied, but I can't say for certainty that it was an accidental oversight. He does admit that it is his fault. He does admit that he will take the blame for it. As you can see here, I'll completely take fault for the SML players not feeling heard heading into this split. A lot of players emailed me with feedback, and there was a Discord channel with ongoing feedback, but nothing direct. Part of the reason changes are coming this week. And I really want to see those changes, because those changes can be big, they can be massive. So, that's basically you caught up on what the drama is, why there's a massive shitstorm going down on Twitter, and basically a small scale, very tiny small scale riot going on in the Smite Minor League and Smite Global Series communities. There's also a small subsection, Sean Connery. A small subsection of a dispute going down in the Smite Global Series, and that's due to broadcast times. You see here, these are the broadcast times that they are holding for each of the days. Now, for Latin America and Brazil, that's good broadcast. Those are good broadcast times because it's during the day. Teams, players can have a look at the broadcast. Teams can have a look at the broadcast. It is when people are at work, but it is during the day. They can have it on in their headphones. There are ways that they can watch it. The problem here is for Southeast Asia and Oceania. Oceania have been the more vocal ones about this, simply because that they had a broadcast, they had professional broadcast set up before, and it got taken away from them. Everything was moved in-house at the beginning of Season 5, and they had to find broadcast times for each and every single league. It's impossible for every league to be appeased, because Hi-Rez don't have multiple broadcasting studios around the world that they could just completely fly casters in and out for consistently. It's just not feasible. But Oceania and Southeast Asia, their games are being broadcasted in the middle of their night. Being broadcasted like 3 AM in the morning, being broadcasted at pretty much midnight. And the fans aren't going to stay up until that point. The players aren't going to stay up until that point because they have to live their normal lives. They have to sleep. They have to. They're not going to become nocturnal just to watch Smite. Because the rest of their lives aren't going to be focused around the night. They're going to be focused around the day. So, I said that there are some solutions to this. And I believe there are. For the Smite Global Series, I think that having them all in-house is a good thing, as it makes a consistent quality broadcast across all regions, across all top levels of play. But what they should also be doing, in my opinion, is having licensed broadcasts done after these. For example, Tuesdays at 11 AM, once that broadcast is done, a Brazilian broadcasting operator could then take those games, broadcast them in the native Brazilian language of Portuguese, and they can watch them during the night when SPL is on. It would create a conflict of interest between the SPL and SGS, but a lot of fans will want to watch their home nation, their home region. Same thing for Southeast Asia, same thing for Oceania, and same thing for Latin America. Let them have their own broadcasts as well as having the Hi-Rez ones. And you have the Hi-Rez ones first because that's the official one, that's where people want to, that's where ideally Hi-Rez will want people to be watching it. But especially for Southeast Asia and Oceania, it's just not feasible. people from that region need to have it broadcast at a later time. Or have links to reruns. At the absolute very least, have links to the VODs. Put up every single week. Straight after this broadcast is done, when Southeast Asia are waking up or when they're coming home from work on the Thursday, considering that's going to be in the morning on that Thursday. Say, hey, we know you've been asleep, we know you've been busy, here are the games that were broadcast today from your region. Same thing with Oceania. That would be what I would do. If I wanted to keep everything in-house, I would also allow external broadcasts. It doesn't even have to be from a official organization, official partnership. Oceania has some of the most dedicated Smite players that I've seen out there. Look at Husey, look at Ro, look at Biggie. Very dedicated players, very dedicated personalities over there. Husey has been involved in every single aspect of Smite. And if he had to, he would happily just do everything by himself to keep that region up because he loves the game, he loves the community. And he's not been given anything. The big question is what to do with the minor league. If they have to go into these best of one formats to maintain broadcasting schedules, then there has to be a postseason. You use the best of ones to begin with for seeding, and then in postseason, you then have a tournament with best of threes or even best of fives to determine who goes on to Worlds. Because, as it says here, this is the World's qualification split. And you're hinging it on best of ones? Insignum have played lights out for the spring and summer. If they have one bad day, just one bad day, they could be out of contention for Worlds. And that's not right. It's not right for any team to have their Worlds qualification hinging on them playing perfectly throughout every single week for the next 6 weeks. That's pretty much all I got to say on this topic. I think that the best of ones, they can have a place in Smite. They can. But the way that it's been going on about it right now, it's not good. It's just not promoting growth in the Smite Global Series or Smite Minor League. So, that's going to do it for me. Just wanted to get this video out there. I want to get my thoughts out. See you guys in the next one. Peace.